I'll stop recording. Right, Amy, just say that again for me. What was your suggestion then?
So if you did something you could spam out on Facebook, so it was kind of a step-by-step. So when you log on to Zoom, this is like... Right.
So like a cheat sheet. If we get Rob to do a cheat sheet, it's easy, like step 1. Yeah, so that would maybe help people.
And so people know that they can definitely have their audio. This is how you turn your audio off and your voice before you even go on. So it's that reassurance.
Maybe if we do a cheat sheet, like a question and answer, like, what if I don't know about Zoom? And then the answer would be this. And what if I
got a really good email yesterday. It was for a carers one, and it actually gave me like the full things, like when you come on, you know, put your mic to mute and things like that. It was really, really good. There was 10 steps to it, so if you're not speaking in the session, please make sure your microphone's muted so that you don't interfere anyone's audio. Wasn't like, it's similar, but it might be a good start.
Yeah, give us a good start. So do you think that maybe I should set it as kind of the beginning of a group? Once your group know each other, it's a bit easier, isn't it? People one by one join in. Do you think I should make it policy so that it just is? Because I can set it up on Zoom, everyone joins with no camera and no mic. So that when people come in the room, that is what is there. And you can change your name. So if you don't even want to have a big black screen with your name that makes it obvious that you're there, you can change your name. So I can maybe have that as a standard thing at the beginning and for the first couple of weeks, but people then can actually choose. I'll have my camera on, and if anyone's facilitating, so one by one people then can choose, rather than the other way around, saying everyone, you can just put your camera off if you want to, and then that feels obvious as well, like, oh, what if I'm the only one that doesn't?
Well, and also I'd be happy to sort of turn mine off and my mic off to make other people feel comfortable. You know, if a few of us did that and then maybe popped in and popped out.
I think that'd be quite powerful, because I think more and more people week to week might be like, oh, this week I'll put my mic on, or maybe next week I'll just
sorry.
Right, it's 10:30, so if you don't mind, I'm going to just set this poll up so you can test it out for me. Just click it, we'll see how long it takes to do, and you can tell me whether the questions are relevant, appropriate, useful. And then I've got a little bit of data to capture. I've got, let me just start it off if I can find it. Launch polling. Yes, I love it. And even
do you know what I really think? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you then, Jane. Sorry. Right, I've mentioned this before, right? But do you know, because we do struggle with the LEA so much, do you think that maybe we could do a questionnaire with the parents? Get all that info together about what their experience is of the LEA, send us a panorama to investigate.
Right, that would be great. My interest is as well, because I'm cross counties. I'd be interested to see, and that wasn't on the poll, so maybe it would be a bit of investigating from us at some point, unless we add that on as a. But I wouldn't want to be what is your local authority area, but perhaps if we know, that would be interesting, because I imagine there'll be a different response in your area and your area and in. Because I've got my issues, but they generally tend to get different levels of help and different responses. So it just would be interesting, I think, just to separate that out.
So it would be in Wales as well, because Wales run on a different system.
So it's the amount. So Ewan's still in mainstream school, he shouldn't be. No. And even now, so talking about kids going back or not, who knows, after today's stuff. But I'm like, Ewan needs to be in an SEN school. He's still non-verbal. He can't go into year 1. It's like
you're just kind of not even engaging.
No, and it's it's really frustrating, especially in these times, because I want to make sure he's set up for September. And last year I did so much work. So my kid's autistic, but my background is autism in adults, so I've got quite a lot of knowledge around stuff. So I gave them a communication passport. I threw so much at them, like a PBS plan with him for his behaviours, and they did nothing with it. It's just sat in a file. So he was meant to have a one-to-one from September, and they knew this. He was in nursery at the school, so they knew he was going into reception, and they didn't employ his one-to-one until January of this year.
So you've got an education, health and care plan?
Yeah. Well, no, they didn't until I said, where is it? He's statemented. He's statemented. So they've had the funding for it. The school just didn't employ anybody.
So has he got a proper plan in place? So he's been assessed.
Yeah.
So he's got an education, health and care plan.
Yeah. And it's saying that he should still be in mainstream school, and he should have one-to-one support.
So in section F, where his provision is in the plan,
Yeah.
does it say in that bit that he needs to be in a mainstream school?
Yeah. At the
Okay,
moment.
so that's illegal.
Okay.
So lots of local authorities are putting in that they need to be in a mainstream school or they need to be in a specialist school. You can't actually say that. So it's about their needs. It's not about where they need to be educated. That's in section I. So you get them straight away in section F because loads of them are saying that they need to be in a mainstream school or taught in a base or.
This is where Louise is like the.
Yeah.
This is what we need.
Some of it in your plan. So if it says like there needs to be provision for a one-to-one support worker, then that, you know, there needs to be provision for me to win the lottery. But unless I put money on a ticket, then I'm not going to do it. So it needs to say Ewan will have a one-to-one support for all lessons, including lunchtime and break. Now, if it doesn't say that, then you're on a roulette wheel as to whether they're going to give it you and whether they've got the funding.
That really makes me angry.
What really pees me off as well is it definitely says he should have one-to-one for break times and everything.
Okay, he should, or he does, or he will.
I need to dig it out. I'll have a look.
Because I should win the lottery if I put my money on it.
Okay.
That's very good linguistics by the school.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, because they can always go back and say, well, it's a process or it's an easy way to get out.
Because his one-to-one is actually only with him till 1 o'clock. So she's with him all morning till 1 o'clock. And then he has somebody else from 1 till 3. So his one-to-one he's had for that little bit before we went into lockdown was amazing because she was an ex-teacher. She didn't have a lot of specialism in special needs, but she was promoting his learning, which nobody else did before. They just babysat him.
Yeah.
That's all his one-to-one was, and it just broke my heart. Whereas now, at least his one-to-one is pushing his learning, and he came on so much with her, but obviously this has happened.
But then it shouldn't have stopped. So what's happened is the local authority, the government decided they were going to change the law during lockdown, and they've implemented this new act. And in it, they put the special needs children, the local authorities need to use their best endeavours to ensure that special needs children are accommodated during this period.
How ambiguous is that? Oh, we'll try.
So it's been challenged. So it's been challenged in law, and they failed.
All I got offered was for him to go to Sandycroft, which was the hub.
That's the hub, isn't it? Yeah.
The hub for the local area, where he wouldn't have his one-to-one, his normal one-to-one, and it wasn't any education stuff. That's all I was offered.
No, so that's not good enough. So if he's got an education, health and care plan, so this was challenged in law. The act has been challenged and it's been changed. So it now says the local authority has to abide by the HCPs. It's a legal document what you've got. So if you've got an education, health and care plan, they've been assessed properly, it's a legal document. As long as the wording's right. Because if the wording's not right, you can't enforce the legality of it. But they should be given. If the wording's right, then they must give exactly what's in the plan.
Yeah, and it's their job to find a way around it, isn't it? This is what we're going to do now instead.
Yeah.
It's really, really useful. Thank you.
If you send me a copy of his plan, I'll read through it and have a look, and then I can.
Oh, thank you so much.
I can help you.
So this again brings it back to this kind of group being really useful in that, but then I suppose you've got the thing of if there's 20 people on here instead of 4 and everybody jumps on and goes, oh my gosh, yeah, Louise, can you help me? Then you've got a big capacity issue that you can't help everybody. So we need to maybe find a way to can we bring, again, speakers might be a good idea if we bring speakers on, or if we can work with you, Louise, just to put a few of those things. Again, cheat sheets are great for everything. This is what, if you've got a care plan, this is what you need to do. And then rather than you having to have constant conversations with people, as long as people know there's a person that's got experience and can help, you just get totally bombarded, don't you? Because people
you could invite people to ask questions before. So you could say, Louise has got a lot of experience around the legalities, frameworks, all that sort of stuff. She's going to be speaking about these topics in the talk. If you've got any questions, send them in, and she will try and answer them.
And then it can be, like you say, it can be monitored, and then we can maybe prep a cheat sheet that can be emailed out so that we've not got constant, because I think it's the same topics come up over and over again. I don't think there's going to be, I think there's going to be an influx of people like that will come up with these kind of things, and it will be the same thing repeated then, won't it? Like, yeah, I had, oh, we talked about that the other week. And potentially, Amy, because you've got your background where you have, let's say Louise might help you with what you've got going on, then you have the knowledge, then you're another person that can say, I can feel this one because I just did this. And that's kind of what I can see happening with this group, if it can grow a bit.
You can also use the chat, so if you've got everybody muted, so I've done a lot of webinars, and what was useful in that I found is when the speaker was on, people were asking questions in the chat. Yeah. And then the speaker at the end would go through the questions and answer what they could.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be useful. I think especially if someone if I can facilitate and get you, Louise, to help with this kind of thing, because you've got the most experience, but I'll kind of support. Sometimes I've tried to do that and ask people to ask questions, and there's like deathly silence. I think people are worried about what kind of answer I'm going to give. But I think it would be different if that came from you. Put your questions in the chat and I'll answer them, and I'll just mute myself. The other thing that we've got going on, that Amy, I don't know whether anybody would be interested in this, but it's so massively useful. Me and Kitty did it yesterday with the Black Dog Project, because we're on Teams now and we're like experts and we've completed technology basically and we know what we're doing. We're getting used to working on Teams. So there's a few of us that are leading these groups that are on Teams, and I found something called Stormboard. Has anyone come across Stormboard?
No.
Oh my God, it's brilliant. I'm going to actually tell you what I'll do, because I can screen share. Let me get it up so you can see. It's brilliant for like collaborative planning.
And is this on Teams?
Yeah, well, no, Stormboard isn't even on Teams, but we've attached it to Teams so that we can collaborate while we're on a team meeting, if that makes sense. But you can just do it on your own. Anyone can collaborate. If I find I'm just going to find the Black Dog one that we did yesterday. So we can then, if we jump on a call on Teams, we can open this all at the same time, and we just use sticky notes. So after the Black Dog Project session yesterday, we chucked in all the things that had come up so that we've got it there. Then we did a bit of a matrix. So we thought, right, the kind of people we need to help us with this.
Oh, I've got a doctor's phone me. I'll have to go up to take this call. Okay.
Then we did the kind of people that we need to help us, or people who've got to help us. So we need a mixture of professionals. We need people with lived experience, and then we put stickies of the kind of lived experience that we have, or the people that we have already. Then we did a couple of the people that we know want to help, and then we did anybody who's just somebody that would be an ally, or be empathic and want to help out. So we can build from that how the project will look. But the good thing is you can also add a little whiteboard, which we started on as well, which is open whiteboard. So we were just having a bit of a, what do we need to do next? We need to do that. We need to do an engagement plan. We need to look at DBSs. I did a bit of drawing, just so I wanted to test out how it worked, which was loads of fun. But it is really cool. So I want to try and see if I can set one up for any of the groups that need work. So for example, the mum and baby group isn't going to need one, because it's just somebody clicking Zoom and loads of mums having a coffee morning, a bit of a chat, and just they've been sharing. But somebody from London sent a book to Copenhagen on parenting to help this woman. So it's great, it's brilliant. It's not like your village hall, it's like proper mummy space. So that's going to be useful. It doesn't need a plan, it doesn't need anything specific, it just needs someone to be there to open the Zoom up once a week. Similar with a few other ones, we've got some creative ones. We've got the youth tribe, doesn't necessarily at the moment need any planning, but the Black Dog definitely does, and potentially this kind of group does. So all the stuff that we would chat about now on a Zoom, rather than trying to scribble my notes down and then messaging each person, then what did you say about that again, and what do you think about that, and should we just do another Zoom to rediscuss that? We'd set up a Stormboard, and then let's say you can't sleep, Amy, 2 o'clock in the morning, you've had an idea, you could just nip on it, stick a sticky note on the Stormboard, and then in the morning I'd pick it up and go, oh yeah, great. It's amazing. You can comment, you can collaborate. So we can do it at the same time. If we've got a session where we're like, let's do a quick planning session, you can do it all together on a group call, but you can also just everyone could just dip in and shove things on whenever they want, and everyone else gets a little notification to say there's been an edit, go and have a little look. So I think Zoom's great for public because everyone can just jump on, but with that planning, if we've got a little channel on Teams, it's like, is everyone free for 20 minutes at 3 o'clock? We just need to do the update. Everyone jumps on a call. It looks like this, but you can just share sticky notes.
I do that with our team all the time.
Yeah.
Especially if something comes in as an emergency, it's like, right, zip on, and we just call as a team.
Well, that's it. You've got and we don't have to set up a blooming Zoom link with this. It's great. It's just that handy. You just literally press call and you invite the people, and it just calls them. And if
the Zoom links, I find you have to send them via the right medium. So,
yeah,
like Selena uses a phone, whereas other people will use laptops, so it's making sure that they've got accessibility through laptops in whatever way if you've sent it via WhatsApp. Not everyone has a WhatsApp on a laptop.
I have to email it to people I've got email addresses for, then copy and paste the link to WhatsApp, then copy and paste the link to Facebook Messenger, and then share it as a post.
Whereas Teams, you just press call.
You just like,
would be good though if you've got a few parents on there as well, though. That's how you can start communicating via.
It's so nice. It's so easy.
So I did an Incredible Years program for a 12-week program, and we all had boys with autism, which was really, really good. So I've got quite a good little community group there. So I did share it, but I didn't share it till late last night, this meeting. But I think a few of them coming on as well. They're great. Great.
So I suppose my next question, actually, which would be really useful, is, and it's difficult for me because I'm again trying to do my old problem of thinking that I have to be there for everything as well, which is what I struggle with. Is when is a good time to do these meetings? Because we'd set up Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock for the whole of June. We're trying different groups, but so far every group's gone, oh, can we do next week? And then I went, oh shit, okay, so Tuesday at 10 o'clock. And next week I've got a different group, so that's why I'm splitting it up. And I don't want to be on Zoom all week long with all those different groups either, because it takes me away from all the strategic stuff I have to do. So I'm trying to work out when would be good times to set up sort of regular weekly stuff. And that's why I put one of the questions in the poll is weekday mornings better, weekday evenings? Evenings are crap for me, but they might be really good for most people if like partners are back.
As long as it's around tea time or tea time, bedtime, nah.
It might be, people might want to do 8 till 9 at night if that's a time where they've actually got kids in bed. I know I don't, but they might
3 till 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
That's the only time of week.
I might have, oh, she's still wandering around at that time, but yeah, that'd be great.
I mean, it sounds really daft, but it might be that this particular group, you might find that 95% say, actually, I'm up at 5 till 6, while no one else is up and I can just turn my phone and have my brew, would actually be a good time. It's rubbish for me, but I don't need to be part of that particular one. It might be that there's a secondary one, you know, a bit later in the week for anyone that can't make that one. That might be how it works out. So I don't want to set the tone for that and say, well, it works for me at this time, so you're going to have to all jump on at this time. So
I have some of my best conversations, especially with the asthma group, between sort of 2 and 3 in the morning, because we've all got prednisolone insomnia. So we're all up talking at 2 and 3 in the morning.
Black dogs, you know, get a lot of activity at 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
So it's just something that I want to take into consideration, that maybe certain groups will be like, do you know what, this is really weird, but I prefer this. And then everyone might say the same thing, and that's fine, don't matter, we can do it whenever. But it's just trying to find out best days and times. I should have put that on the poll, shouldn't I, middle of the night, and just see how many people click. Yeah. See how many times got peace and quiet. Everyone would be whispering though with the headphones.
No.
Oh, question. So this is ideal for me, but.
So can we stick with that for now? Does that work for all you three? If we stick with that for now, a Tuesday at 10 o'clock, because what I might do is I might have bumps and babies at 10, parent carers at 10. So keep it general to kind of parenting and have those sessions running at the same time, because then when we do
it's better having it consistent, because parents then know when it is. Because
and you can plan for it.
with brains as they are, it's hard to remember when you've got different sessions. Even with the best intentions, you can write it on post-it notes all over your fridge. You know, if kids have got up in a bad mood, it just goes. Whereas if it's in your brain all the time, it's every Tuesday.
You know, Tuesday at 10. And I'm thinking that if people are going to get some value out of the different groups, so let's say your big love in life is books, you just love reading, we might do kind of a book club one that might be on a Friday at some time. You think I'd love that? So I want to make sure things that might be useful aren't duplicated, so you don't have to choose. So I'm assuming that if you're a parent carer, 10 o'clock in the morning, you'd be on this one. You wouldn't be on a bumps and baby group anyway. It's 2 different audiences. So if I'm going to try and manage that myself. So we'll have because I don't want so many all week long and all in different times and spaces. If I can set up a few for that same hour, and I'll just have different facilitators. Because then for us as an organisation, we come together and do a debrief together about our particular sessions. So that would work if it works for you. But then you would maybe just tell me if things change, or just say, right, now we need to change it, set up a different Zoom link. So I suppose we will normally, what I want to do is have a bit of a plan. So when we get going, me and Louise would, for example, what Amy said, if any questions come up, we'd know what kind of things we're covering. Like today, we're going to cover like how to manage behaviour in that, or how to like have it home learning. It's only an hour. Right. So future sessions would be, I think we'll try and keep it to a particular topic. So maybe this session, it would be working out how on earth to manage the group. That's what we're doing.
So some of it might be like one session might be how how's my EHCP working when I'm in lockdown?
Yeah.
And then come on, and then those questions would be quite valid then.
Yeah, and it might be that we have some subgroups, like you said, Louise. If there's a bigger group and people have asked to discuss different things, we might send people off to different rooms, and then that feedback will be useful because we can find out who got the most value from which topics.
Yeah.
If most of the people said that was really useful to me, then we know that that's something.
I think self-care is really important as well, because I know from just talking to friends with kids, my friend Katie at the minute, she's got 2 twin girls with GDD and autism, and love her. She's a single mum, 3 kids, 2
no self-care.
She's got none, and she's working full time, so she's just managed to get them back into some sort of care provision, so they go to nursery every morning. She's just knackered. She was stood outside mine the other day just because she was driving past, so she stopped and she's chatting at the end of my drive. She just looked exhausted, and I was like, oh my God, go home and sleep. The work will be there tomorrow.
Hard. It's managing, isn't it? Because we're managing in a very different world. So
yeah,
maybe some of that, maybe looking at the daytime routine as well, because routines have changed, and
that'd be
people,
a good one.
Yeah, people are struggling to try and fit their children, and being, especially if they've got kids with disabilities as well. Their kids, and some of them are full on. You can't just turn them off.
When I was working full time, I felt so guilty. Yeah. Oh my God, I felt so guilty. To be honest, it's been a godsend being sacked, because the amount of I've put into my kids is just huge, and it's got rid of that guilt. Like, I know my friend, she's an accountant, and she's just got a child, no special needs, but she feels so guilty at the moment, and she's not looking after herself either, so she's working her ass off because she's bloody finance manager for a cereal company. Yeah, I know, fun. So she's working her ass off because half of her staff team have been furloughed. She's doing about 4 people's jobs. She's trying to look after her daughter and keep her stimulated and her well-being all right, but she's not looking after herself. And then when you've got kids with special needs on top,
yeah, it's hard.
From my experience, so when this first started, all I did for the first month was cry.
Really?
No, I don't work. I was having really bad days. I was constantly up and down. Even now, I'm having up and down days, because we've gone from seeing, obviously, because I was at the centre quite a lot, so we've gone from seeing lots of people all week to seeing absolutely nobody. And I can't be bothered, and it sounds awful. My hands are sore quite a lot, so I don't text people because I can't always text people, and then I feel down, so I don't want to talk to anybody. So it gets, but like, do you know, like with the Zoom group, if something comes, I'll go on now. You know, it's things like that, but it's quite hard because all 3 of my kids, I'm one of those, all 3 of mine, they've all got additional needs. They're all, you know, up and down, they're all different and all the rest of it, and they're having up and down days as well, so it's managing them. So it's just, my
question would be, do you think, because I feel like, because I teach, I've got plenty of coping strategies, and that's what I teach, is resilience and wellbeing and coping strategies, but I don't feel that would be completely beneficial. There might be some things that would help, but I think, you know, how do you apply what I could teach in your environment, because it's so different to anybody else's environment? So is it going to be more useful? And again, if I can bring Dr. Mark in, I can bring specialists in, but they haven't got, it's just so hard to say, well, yeah, that sounds easy and it's great on paper, but is it better to find people who are already living that experience, who have some good coping strategies, and see if you can share that, like this week?
No, it does, because every week's different, isn't it? So especially when you've got kids with additional needs, even the days are different. So what happened yesterday isn't what's going to happen today. What was triggering yesterday isn't triggering today. It's so every day is different. But it's got, I think
just maybe a little bit of a self-care bit. So in these meetings, there's different topics, but I think it's really important that we just maybe even just a 5-minute of what have you done this week for self-care.
Should we do that at the end, kind of like set some time aside? So we'd have like an opening statement, and if someone's new, can you just click on that link and just give us a quick newbie form check? Then we'll have whatever topics for the day, whatever sort of question and answers, a certain amount of time. Then we do a quick 10 minutes, right? Self-care 10 minutes at the end. Leave on a positive note. This is your challenge. This is what you've got to try and do this week for self-care. What have you done and what are you going to do? And then that last couple of minutes, right? Give us quick feedback before you go. And then that hits everything all in the hour. And if anyone needs more, we can.
I think one of the biggest things, so self-care, a lot of parent carers would turn off at that point because it's all they come on to talk about their kids. But I think they wouldn't turn off if you said to them, right, okay, now I don't want to hear about you, so we're gonna have 5-minute child free. Okay, so what have you done for you this week?
Okay.
And they would stay on because then they're like, oh, actually, what have I done for me this week?
It's the language, I suppose. If you say self-care, it's an alien topic when you just do that and you just, well, that's not what I do. It's not me because it's all about my kids. So I think then you're right. Then if you use the language of this particular 10 minutes, put the kids to a different diet. This is this topic for this 10 minutes.
Did you forget about yourself?
Yeah, you need. I think as well, we might need to do a bit of a dummy thing. Whereas, like, even if you have done something for yourself, go nothing. So people. Comfortable to say, I've done nothing this week.
Yeah.
And then
people might suggest to you. Psychology would be great there because people then might suggest to you. You might have somebody who's also done nothing who says to you, "Oh, I mean that's not good. You need to do something. Why don't you try this, this, and this?" And at the same time, they're programming their own brain to think, "I think I might do that actually." So it's quite good psychology there.
Sounds like me, though. Quite good at giving out, giving out instructions, but not so great to take them on board.
Who's like saying that as I do?
And then I've got homeschool in between, which is going really well. Not at all.
Mine's going swimmingly. Mine have learned how to they've learned how to play on the Xbox.
Yeah, mine have.
Yeah, they're pretty good at that. Fortnite.
Mine have completed most of Xbox.
I'll tell you what has been the biggest one. They've learned how to avoid the shower. That's
Mine haven't seen one for weeks either. My eldest.
My youngest.
How to not get dressed.
My youngest is an expert
how to
in that.
stink. How to absolutely pong the house out
professionally. Yeah.
There's definitely a certificate in there for them.
How to throw an Xbox controller at a wall is the championship sport.
Off the wall, it has to bounce off the wall and hit the computer screen or the TV screen and shatter it.
I was thinking of putting a target on Tommy's bedroom wall, so at least he's got somewhere to aim for.
Just stick it at the tally. That's we've gone through 3 of them.
It's going to
just say there.
You have to put like a rebound net so it rebounds back.
I actually missed that then and hit something else.
How many screens can we go through? Yeah, it's great, isn't it? But at least it's good to know that it literally is every single parent. And I've had the email this morning, can you let us know by tomorrow, are your kids coming back? And then I read a bit further and it'll be 3-hour session, 3 times over 4 weeks. And it'll be 8 people to a class and they will not be able to go within 2 meters of their friends or their teacher. They're not doing lessons, they're just in their form group. And it's just a chance for the teacher to see if they're struggling. And they have to bring their devices in that they've been homeschooling off. Oh, so my computer that all 6 of us have to share, he's got to take that in, I say, yeah, okay. So,
no.
Yeah,
no, I've learned quite a lot about my children, to be fair. It's been quite an eye-opener. And I am pretty switched on to special needs, obviously. Yeah. But I've learned loads about my own children. Yeah.
It is. It's a proper eye-opener. How things get kind of just, you muddle along and you kind of, everything just gets into a pattern of blinkers and then you actually got your eyes open. You think, whoa, okay, this is interesting.
Tell you what, Archie hasn't been. Archie still had a couple of days where he's been thrown up, but he hasn't. Archie is sick quite a lot. But we haven't had anywhere near as many of those days since we've been in lockdown. No, so it does. So that's where I do think there's a problem there, but I also think that quite a lot of these, when he's throwing up, it's anxiety. Yeah, it's still,
stress.
We've took the stress away, haven't we? So
yeah. Well, Tommy's literally through the roof at the fact that he might have to go back near school again. I'm stupid. I can't do the work. I hate it. I just get shouted at. I'm naughty. All these. I'm like, oh, hang on, this is interesting. So he's got this massive, huge task avoidance, just huge, and it's come from somewhere. So I don't know what's going on. It's really bizarre. No attention span whatsoever.
I hate that word, naughty. No kid's naughty.
I find it difficult to homeschool because his attention span, it always has been, is non-existent. Absolutely non-existent. Must get it from me. But yeah, just thinking about how that has obviously been managed. Not through primary, brilliant. There was always an issue, but it was managed really well. Since he started high school, the way that's been managed, he is a very angry, naughty little boy. But he isn't. He's been pushed into that corner because he doesn't.
Are you doing, before you get him to sit down, are you doing anything physical with him?
Yeah, I'm attempting to burn him out and get him out on his bike or running around, and it helps a little bit, but it's getting him to do that. If I give him any kind of task, he sees it as a task. He's like, I'll do it, even though he wants to do it. It's just,
Speaking the third person, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'll try that one. Yeah.
So don't ask him directly.
Right, okay. Because I've noticed that my language, I'm thinking, even though I'm making tasks really good and it's not school, but anything, even if I know it's something to enjoy, if I verbalise it as this is what you're going to do, we'll do this now, it's instant withheld.
And bribery works brilliant, I have to say. So bribery to get them into some sort of routine. I'm all for bribery to start with. So to get them into a routine of doing something, you bribe them. People who say don't bribe your kids, it's
compromise.
Yeah, mine had Lego last week.
I think I've undone myself with that though. I think I've done it wrong because he was all about the V-Bucks. All he wanted to do V-Bucks, right? So I was like, oh, I'll use this. But what he's done, and I've not watched him this week, he literally came down the stairs very noisily, did his chores, swept, mopped, and he was like, right, cool. What do we need to do? Can I do a bit of English? Do that? Right, can I have a V-Bucks now? And that's like a daily occurrence. I'm like, oh, okay. I see where you're going with this.
So you need to change it. So you need to change it now. So change it to his exercise. So he does some exercises, but making sure that he's getting like his core stability exercise, because that's where you'll get your engagement from after.
Okay. So, that's good to know.
It's got right, it's about being grounded. So a lot of children feel, so when you're sitting on a seat, and you've got your feet on the floor, a lot of children don't feel like they're sitting on the seats. They feel like they're floating above the seat.
Right, okay,
So you have to make them, so you have to ground them, even if it's putting something on his knee while he's doing something, so something heavy on his knee.
I've heard that before, something on his knee, I've had him doing, the thing that's worked brilliant for him is 10-minute meditation. Get him on YouTube and he puts headphones in, totally, really good, and he'll find one that whatever he's feeling at the time. And then I've got loads of therapy rollerballs for Ruby, and he keeps nicking them. For some reason he finds them quite nice as well. So certain things he's really going for, and then go for a run or go on your bike, great, and then
So how old is he? 12?
12, he's coming on for 13 now. That's not going to work when he goes back to school though, because he's just an autistic.
But he's at the age what I would say, so between sort of 12, 13, 14 is the age where you start to see kids who have coped in mainstream school, coped fine with lessons, been like Jack the lad in class or whatever, all the way through mainstream, not been picked up at all. And it starts to change at about 12, 13 into mental health.
So this is what's happening, definitely.
And that's because the pressures have gone on.
Yeah, he's sad and he's angry and he's, I can't do it because I'm stupid, so I'm not going to bother. No, I'm never going to get it right. No, everyone's better than me anyway.
Because you'll find the teacher in the classroom has picked out their Jack the lad. I know, so the teacher in the classroom will be saying, sit down, even if they haven't moved a muscle. You'll find they'll be saying,
and that is exactly what I have diagnosed since lockdown, since I noticed this when I was trying to school. I was thinking, oh, this is weird. There's about 4 teachers in that school that incessantly pick on him, get in his face, scream in his face.
So they've labelled him, haven't they? And so
he is like, well, no, that's me now. I don't do tasks. I don't do it. So he's conflicted because he kind of wants to, but then he's the youngest of his siblings, and his big brother picks on him as well. He's got all that kind of sibling stuff going on at home. So he's like, well, clearly that is my label. And here's me, the teacher of labels, going, I can see what's happening. You need to stop it. And I'm, oh, for God's sake, not everything's about this. I'm like, it is. It is all about this. All that going on. So Tommy is doing mindset. The one thing he'll focus on is Mindset Mojo. So my course that I've now got online, he's doing it. I was saying to Louise before, if I try and teach him a module, a session, so like Wheel of Life or Emotional Intelligence or How You Manage Anger or one of these little modules, only like 15 minutes. If I sit with him in the chair, he's just like, oh, bored, but can't sit still, bored. If I get his phone out and I log into my videos, his mum actually saying the words, he would sit there, watch the video, nodding, click the things, do the quiz, do the stuff, fill in the stuff. And I'm sat next to him going, interesting, I'm actually here. Why would you not do it? Whatever works.
It's a third person.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So so and this works all the time, especially with children who have autistic tendencies or are on the autism spectrum. So if you ask a child, so if I said to Ben's the most compliant child ever, really, but if I said to Ben, do me a favor, Ben, pick that sock up off the floor. Ben, we'll go and rearrange my fridge into alphabetical order. Whereas if I said to him, well, I'll do us a favour, mate, grab that sock up and put it just in the wash for us. He'll do anything for you. And it's the language that you use.
Tommy, I've noticed that with Tommy, yeah.
But if I said to Dave, do you know what? If Ben had put that light up on the wall for me, do you know what? I'd be so happy. Ben will go and put the light up just to make me happy. But if I said to him, go and put the light up on the wall, he'd be like, oh, I haven't got a screwdriver, I haven't got a screw, I haven't got the right thing, and I need this.
Tommy get on so well, it's like the same thing. It's very, very similar. This is definitely, yeah. And I keep saying to him, listen, mate, this is great chance. You've had a shitty time in school. you're not in school now, work with me and we'll work out how you learn best. I'm not going to be like your teacher. I want to find out what I can do to help you learn. And it's because he had the conflicting, that sounds pretty good, but I don't know.
So if you ask the dog to get the dog to sit with you and ask the dog, so if the dog was struggling at school, what do you think would help?
Yeah, what would
Tommy
help?
can answer, and you'll find the answers come because of what he feels.
And he's not
So he'll ask it. So he's not answering, he's answering for the dog.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
We do it with teddies.
Yeah.
Teddies with the little one of and to try and teach him emotion. So so if he's done something, it's like, oh, that's made Teddy sad. Yeah. And then
I'll do it with Fortnite characters. If that dude over there had this going on, what would we do?
Yeah. How would he manage? How would he manage?
Yeah. What would he do? Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think the teacher would say about him?
Yeah.
So you'll hear the words that come out of his mouth or what people have said to him.
Do you know what really fascinated me? Because he's so hands-on and so practical. I was really struggling last week. He just wouldn't do anything, wouldn't go. Even when I was doing the work for him, just, you help me out then. You dictate. If you don't like typing, I'll type. Basically, I was literally doing all of his work for him. And I was getting so frustrated. I was like, he went, can we just make lunch? And he loves cooking. I was like, yeah, right. So I took the laptop in the kitchen and he was making lunch because he loves cooking. So he's busy doing all this. And he was engaging with the work, so he had to do multiple things at once, a bit like me, I suppose. So he was cooking, he was looking at the laptop, he was answering the questions, I was helping type a bit, and we got through a really good piece of work. And I thought, oh, there you go, that's interesting. Really difficult, because trying to manage hot stove, cooking, that and that, but it worked for him. He liked it.
You can't do. So I don't know about you, but when I go to bed and I go to sleep and I put my head on the pillow, suddenly it's like someone turns on my brain. And it thinks of 1,000,000 things that I should be doing, or I could have been done today, or I need to do tomorrow, or I need to do that plan, I need to this, and it runs through your head like, well, that's what most children, especially if they've got something going on, I've got going on in their head all the time. So the second you create chaos around them, the brain actually stops creating chaos for itself. So it's able to focus.
That's what he needs for sure. And a lot of the kids that I've been working with lately before lockdown were saying the same thing. I just need to be able to have my headphones in. I'll do the work if I can just have some distraction, or if I can just click, but no, you're naughty, you must sit in silence and repeat these. And I'm like, no wonder you're struggling. So Tommy's definitely the same. He needs more stimulation rather than less sometimes. So it's just weird. It's just, I need to try and understand it a bit more. But
so Ben in school would have his headphones on with his music on, and he'd have full on music, and he wasn't communicating his phone, he just had his music on, and they allowed that, and he worked better with his music on.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known any of this if it hadn't been for lockdown. I would have just got the odd letter home, and Tommy being angry and hating his teachers, and me thinking he's just being a teenager. But now I realise actually there's quite a lot of damage that's been done. He's really, and he's only this age. What when he's 15? This is going to be the rest of his life. His trajectory now is going straight down that way. So it's a good time to try and pull it back. But yeah, it's really. And sometimes I can see him really get engaged in a subject, and then he'll catch himself like, no, this is school, I'm not supposed to like that. I'm like, and then I'll be like, no, it's school, we're just chatting about subjects. I'm writing things down about it. It's nothing to do with school.
Family debates as well, I always find are quite good. So if you want to get work done, so we were doing about history and World War, so we've engaged in a family debate about it. And actually we've orchestrated the debate. So me and Dad have talked about what we need to learn.
And Amy.
Yeah, so we've started that debate on purpose, so that we then bring the children into the debate, and my kids are just very opinionated. So
that's good homeschooling now, that I think that's really good.
But there's nothing written down. So when the teacher phoned up the other day and says, Kirsty's not done any work online, I said, no, she hasn't done any work online, because one, we've got a family computer, and trying to get it all, but two, it's not accessible for her. No. So doing all that work online isn't accessible. But you know what, I can tell you now, we've done baking virtually every day, we've done mental health support, we've had debates. If you ask her about the subject she's learning, she'll be able to tell you, but nothing's written down.
And that is exactly what it is, isn't it? It's finding out different ways that people learn better and engaging in that way. And that's what we're missing. That's the gap. That's the whole problem.
I'm gonna have to see you guys.
I've got I'm 20 minutes late for my meeting, so they'll all be sat there twiddling their thumbs. But I'll see you on Teams, and I'll shut the meeting down, and I'll see you on Teams, and we'll carry on. All right, thank you ever so much, guys.
See you soon.
Thank you so much.
Bye.